Hello everyone, this is Riccardo Masini and this is Vlog, and this is Battlefields of the Napoleonic Wars by Paolo Mori and Alessandro Zucchini. And yes, it is an Italian war game. It is a very nice, very interesting, introductory level historical war game, a Napoleonic tactical war game by Paolo Mori and Alessandro Zucchini, their own new publishing house, Ingenioso Hidalgo, which contrary to the name, it's not a Spanish, but it is Italian. And this is a game, this is a tactical simulation about Napoleonic battles of various periods of the Napoleonic era. And now we have here Rivoli, but we have also Hagelberg in Germany, 1813, La Coruña, Spain, the Peninsula War, and also, of course, Austerlitz. It is a scenario-based game. Every scenario has its own map in its own folder, as you see here, with the special rules and the special victory conditions. So why do I say it is an introductory level? Well, because it is absolutely not complex, and it has also many hybrid Euro war game solutions. Those solutions can be seen from the fact that we have generic units. You give orders to an order matrix, then you give order to all the infantry columns, all the infantry lines, all the cavalry and artillery, all the leader, or the maneuver, or the rally. And when you make the rally, you get back your orders. But the clock goes on about reinforcements, the victory points. Also, every scenario has its own map, its own self-contained folder. Every scenario has a variable length, because when your victory point markers comes here, you flip that, you mix those markers, you don't know them, and then you flip them, that is red. Okay, the scenario is over. But if this was like that, you get there, you see, and it was okay, green, we carry on. And then you have to wait still other time, and you have to make other victory points. So the end is not definite. Is varied. This means that every scenario varies. For example, here in Rivoli, you don't know which Austrian column will come first. So it is also everything is very fluid, but it is also very streamlined. For example, you give orders, you make just like that. As you see here, okay, let's move it a bit. For example, this Austrian column, let's say that this Austrian column has made an attack against this French infantry. As you see, they have different colors, so you have also different type of units, quality levels, etc. And I use the one activation with that is the leader. It is a formation, as you see. This is a column against the line, but you can also change formation with orders, but you can also form square, etc. We have a column, okay, first activation, and I use a second activation, a free activation. This scenario, free activation pattern for the Austrians, to use also this Hazard die. Hazard die means that I make a sustained attack and I run more risks, because some of the symbols, those are special dies, you have special symbols, some of those symbols mean that I get losses too. But a column goes against the line. What the typical Napoleonic line will do against a column, an assaulting column, incoming assaulting column, defensive fire. These are the fire dice, and I roll one of them, and I see, okay, in this case, okay, now you see the value difference symbol. If this was an artillery, they would have made one casualty and have made one retreat against those Austrians. But oh no, this is just an infantry. And as you see, there are many different symbols in these dice. They are essentially CRT, they are masked CRT. Because this means that artillery units are better at firing, of course, or this. You make a loss, you inflict a loss only if the target is in column, and this makes columns more vulnerable to infantry fire. In this case, nothing happens, so my column can get on. Let's see what happens here. Okay, another interesting result. I get this. This means, okay, let's focus. Okay, this means, is it a cavalry? No, so this dice is not used. Is this a unit with a leader or with a radiation leader? Yes, so they inflict one retreat. You see the arrow? But this black die, the hazard die, it's bad because I get one loss. This is the symbol that makes me suffer one loss. So it means that they have to retreat. They retreat back because I had a leader with me. This is the leader. And I can get inside. I can pivot. Okay, now I got the position, but, well, I got one loss. Units can be good order, disorganized. When they are just 1 point, they are broken, and they have to be rallied only with a rally order. That makes you recover your orders, but also makes the clock tick, and you get the enemy gets you get closer to reinforcements, but also the enemy can make his own rally orders, so the clock will tick for him too, or for him. So okay, I get my leader here. As you see, with such simple rules, because essentially this is how combat works in this game, there's a very varied set of results. If this infantry had made for example, this addition fire, well, the Austrian column would have had to retreat and the assault would have been cancelled. So it feels Napoleonic, but it is very simple, very easy, and it feels a bit more plausible. I have to see that commands and colors Napoleonics. Okay, I had to say that. So a very good set of rules with lots of classic Euro mechanics. All the mechanics really is a bit like a worker placement mechanic, but it works, and it works very well. Lots of scenarios, all those scenarios have lots of historical detail, and also lots of replayability. So it is a very nice game. I think even Australia's largest scenario can be played in 2 hours and a half, 3 hours at the max, very max. All of them can be played in one evening. Rivoli, we played a lot of times at the Italian National Convention, playing Bologna. We played that lots of times with the tables of Ludostoria, and at the tables of Ludostoria, I think that we never got more than 2 hours, and those were first-time players. So it is very, absolutely very playable. Perfect to introduce someone with a very basic tenets of war games. Okay, there are abstractions, for example. I really don't like the fact that you give order to all the infantry columns. All the infantry columns, you can order, you have 3 activation for this scenario. And later on, you get another activation. Okay, 3 or 4 units in columns everywhere on the battlefield. All the cavalry, all the infantry lines, all the artillery. But it works. In general, it works. Rivoli really feels like Rivoli. It is plausible. It is believable. And in general, that works. The tactical element is absolutely perfect, and I've never seen such a simple and accessible game. Also from the components standpoint of view, well, deal with the nuances of Napoleonic Napoleonic tactics so well, so effectively. And I've never seen people that had never played a war game begin to think in terms of, okay, should I stay in line or should I waste time getting my units in column because I want to make an attack? But if I want to make an attack, I have to first order my artillery to make a bombardment. And also, should I make squares? Or, okay, I will attack him with my cavalry. They will get to square. Haha, here is my artillery. Bam! And so I can strike at the square with my artillery. This is very classical Napoleonic tactics managed with such a simple rule set that really even a 12 years old kid or girl will be absolutely delighted to play that. It's not that they will be able to play that. They will be delighted. It's engaging. It is fun. It is dramatic. It is great. But it is chaotic, yes, but Napoleonic battles were chaotic. And this really brings me back to Kevin Zucker, what Kevin Zucker always said about Napoleonic battles. That in war games they tend to be a bit too linear, a bit too Waterloo-like, but Waterloo was an exception. They were not so linear. They were battles with crisis points. This line of hills, Osteria, Sertello, Rivoli itself, Gazzoli, all those single points of the entire battlefield with positions changing and 2, 3, 4, 5 times during the same battle. You get that in this game. And it is great that you get that with such a great accessibility, such a low point of complexity, such an introductory war game that is not at all introductory from the historical detail, the historical content point of view, because yes, there are abstractions, but once you get past those abstractions, you see things, oh, okay, but here is the zone of control, they have a front, those units have a front, if they are attacked from the rear, they have malus, they have disadvantages, okay, I can use them certain formation to hold certain points of the battlefield. Okay, so this die will work only if I attack with cavalry, if I assault with cavalry. Okay, so the cavalry is able to get real losses against an enemy in close combat, but only if that enemy maybe is already disorganized. Or if it is not in line, because line can get defensive fire. If it is other cavalry, if they cannot make a square, perfect, absolutely perfect. And I really like that game for the fact that it is highly representative of what I like to call the new wave of historical game design. A new style, a new approach. It is hybrid with Eurogames, but it is also great at portraying lots of historical content, lots of such great historical detail with such easy, such simple rules. Okay, the components are a bit rudimentary, yes, because this is a very first game, but the graphic is great and everything looks fine. Really, you get the sense of a battle. Maybe a plexiglass is better because, yes, the paper is quite thin. But apart from that, you will like that. You will like the fact that there are generic pieces. So Paolo and Alex and the Ingenious Hidalgo will publish expansions, but they will give you just the folder and the map. Also, this solution is great. On the back of the folder, you get the setup. But okay, I laid them on the table. Or should I take out half of my setup just to flip them and see what's behind? No, there is a QR code, and if you take a photo of that QR code, that will bring you to a special page on the Ingenious Hidalgo website that has an historical description and the setup, so you don't have to flip once again the folder over. This is an example of very good integration between physical and online components of a game. This is very more modern, very, very nice. Unfortunately, there is not yet a vassal model or a tabletop simulator model. I know that somehow it is in the work. But really, the flow of the battle is there. You get the fact that every time you make a rally, or you give a rally order to get back your order tokens, the enemy will get some victory points. It is a great way of displaying the degradation and control of the armies. You get also victory points by eliminating units, by flipping, controlling important pieces of the battlefield, and this gives you really what I like to call the Zucker effect. We'll call that the Zucker effect from now on. The fact that there are certain focal points on the battlefield where most of the engagement will occur with a fragmented battlefield, also because you have many elements of reinforcements coming in, and this is very Napoleonic. I really like that. But also, such a great integration of small details. The rule book is very well written. There are some pieces that, as usual stuff, I would have liked a bit more of callbacks between one paragraph to another. But okay, it is very understandable. You just have to take attention. Don't underestimate this game, because there are lots of details. There's an entire page with all the different kinds of infantry, cavalry, and artillery. You have light cavalry, medium cavalry, heavy cavalry, light infantry, grenadiers, guards. So you have lots of stuff. Even if it's very simple, there is more modification that, however, have a great butterfly effect, butterfly effects on all the game. And also, yes, I know your question. Where can I find this game? If you live in Italy, if you were in Italy, you could get that through the Ingenious Hidalgo website, no problem. And also some local distributors. However, I recently read, and you can send a mail to Paolo and Alex and the Ingenious Hidalgo. I recently read that they made an agreement to export those games. Also, I think also in the United States and all over the world, so it is not impossible to get a copy. I really recommend you a copy of this, because yes, it is an introductory Napoleonic war game. Yes, it is a light Napoleonic war game. Yes, it is a hybrid Euro Napoleonic war game, Napoleonic Euro war game. Okay, but it's a very, very, very good Napoleonic war game, tactical war game. And I think that we really need games like that to give another image of our own hobby, not only to get more people playing it, but also for us grognards, for experts who have a quick war game that but still feels like a war game, at least as one of the old SPI quads, and even a bit more. And yes, I think that those titles are really precious for a hobby, for the wargaming world, because they really help us to have another point of view, another perspective on our hobby, on historical simulation, get more people involved, also get more playing sessions, because we don't need 6 to 7 hours to play this war game. You just to set it up. You set up in 5 to 10 minutes, and in 1 hour, 2 at the very most, you've already played an entire battle, and it is great, and it is really great. And really, thanks, Paolo. Thanks to Alex Zucchini. I really wanted to give more visibility to this game, even outside of Italy. One last thought. Thank you to the authors, because this game is dedicated to Giovanni Melandri, that was one of the protagonists of the Italian wargaming scene, and unfortunately he died very young, very premature death, and we all feel this loss. And this is I think that this is a game that is an incredible tribute to his memory. I know if he were still with us, well, I would have received lots of audio messages saying, Riccardo, oh, this is a great game, we have to play that. Riccardo, questo è un gioco fantastico, dobbiamo giocarlo insieme. Really, this is a game that he would have very liked, and it is a very fitting tribute to him. Okay, but this is also a very, very special game. Lots of historical contents, lots of accessibility, but lots of quality in this game, and I really can't wait to play the other expansions of it. This was Battlefields of the Napoleonic Wars. Try to get one if you can, because really you will not be disappointed. This is a really good game. It is a game that is meant to be played and played and played again. So, and every scenario, every match, every play will be different. but it is also a very good game to have in any collection of anyone who is interested in war games, expert or beginner or just casual historical player, Euro or board game player that some every now and again likes to play war games. Yes, this is the game. This is a very good game to have. Thank you very much for, as always, for having been with me. Take care, have fun, and as always, don't be scared. It's just war games. Ciao.